Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another thrilling episode of PROG Review. It's 12th night. Well, it is. When I recorded this, it's 12th night. So what I thought I'd do is I'd do 12th night. It's 12th night. Again, has it got a name? It's X11. Again, they managed to release a record without a title. Is it 12th night? 12th night? Or is it 12th night XII? Or is it XI 12th night I? If you look at the album sleeve, see, it's XI 12th night I by 12th night. It's complicated. They should have named the album something. Yeah, I've come to shit on 12th Night's 1986 album. Anyway. Oh God, why do I do this to myself? I thought it'd be funny. I thought it'd be funny to talk about this record because it's 12th Night. That's it. That's all I've got. That's all I've got. Again, they were part of the neo-prog movement of the early 80s. For those who aren't aware, I covered one of their albums before, Art and Illusion, which, again, they're an unusual band because now certain magazines will cover them, but at the time, I think they only had 2 albums that were actually released on a label. The rest of the stuff was self-released, on cassette. So does that count? If you're back in the 80s, does that count? If they're selling cassettes out of a suitcase. We already covered Art and Illusion. Well, God knows how long ago. So now we're doing their other album, which this was actually released on the Charisma label, back in 1986, which makes it even more curious. The first one, it was Music for Nations, which I think that was quite a small label, and Charisma, Virgin, is quite a sizable label in comparison, which makes you wonder how the hell this got released. How the hell this got released on Virgin. This is also known as the Virgin album. So it's 12th Night, 12th Night, 12th Night XII, 12th Night XI, 12th Night I, or the Virgin album. Just talk about the record. It's got 9 tracks, 45 minutes long, though it's been expanded. I think if you go onto YouTube Music or Spotify or one of the streaming services, they've expanded it even further because the band in recent times have been reissuing their material on CD, LP, whatever, in greatly expanded formats, so all the diehards back in the day can enjoy. Now, they're an odd lot because if you go back to their first albums, they sounded they're more akin to what Marillion were doing. So in their earlier incarnations, you could certainly hear how they shared musical DNA with Marillion. Some of the phrasing and enunciation by the singer echoes back to the way Fish sang. You've got the similar keyboard patterns, uses of guitars, phrasing, but they weren't obsessed with doing necessarily overlong songs. I think some of their longest pieces were maybe 10 minutes long. But again, they were of an ilk. But this one, like I said, this one is their only their second proper album on a label. And what's it like? Well, it's your typical mid-80s fare, and I need to condemn it because I grew up through this period of time, and there was an awful lot of crappy music out there. Again, hearing this album, what sprung to mind? Oh no, we don't want to go. I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it. I didn't mention. I didn't mention their name. I don't want to mention their name, but listen to it. It reminded me of It Bites. Oh, I've gone and said the name now, and I feel dirty for saying it. But yeah, they're not as technically astute as Francis Dunnery and Co. But yeah, the production and the music is very, very 80s. It's got all that, those keyboard bits that you've come to expect. There's Yamaha DX7. I don't know if it is the Yamaha DX7, but when you hear certain 80s music, there are certain synthesizers and synth patches and synth tones that instantly drag you back. And again, the way that the drums are recorded. And it's just, all of it is just, that kind of really dull pop rock that you got, because again we hit that in the 80s. There was an awful lot of interesting music out there, but by that time it all got a little bit homogenous. Rock music was kind of lost. We had a lot of I guess you'd call it hair metal coming in over from America around this period, and rock music, it was losing its way. It wasn't that far off before the dreaded 1988 happened. So yeah, hearing this again, you just go, how the hell did they get signed to Charisma? It's not particularly proggy. It's not proggy at all. I don't think it's, I don't understand how this is put into the neo-prog category. The songs, so I'm just bringing up the album. The songs are relatively short, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes. It's just the last track, Take a Look, extends out to 11.5 minutes. But it's not. It doesn't have any of the sophistication of what Marillion were doing at this time, because they had around this time it would have been Misplaced Childhood heading into Clutching at Straws. Some of it is pretty pure, it's pure. But this would be lauded. Again, now certain magazines will look back and hold these people aloft as, because it's something to write about. But there's a reason why they did fuck all in the 80s. It's because it's a load of dog shit. I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to hold any punches. There's a reason why nobody heard of these people. I'm sure they had a very loyal live following. But listening to this record, it's no surprise that no one bought it, or any other records for that matter. Because again, they're not particularly hooky songs. They sound like they want to be a pop band. They sound like they want to follow in the excuse me, in the vein of It Bites. But again, even though I don't like them, It Bites do have, hooky songs. There are no hooks here. But it is an improvement on their previous homespun stuff, because they are in a proper studio. It doesn't sound as clunky, and they've got proper production behind them, sort of thing. So you've got that, but you just ask yourself how and why. Why did this happen? I'd have expected this one to be self-financed and self-produced on a cassette, because it sounds like it's just another one of those records. But yeah, it's weird. Why? We'll never know why. But yeah, if you want to spend, how long is it? Is it 45 minutes? About that. 45 minutes listening to this. There's a copy of this on Discogs for 89p. You can tell how good it is. But there'll be people out there that will be championing this stuff. Personally, I found it's all the things that I dislike. It's completely unimaginative. It's not really saying anything. It's not particularly clever. The music's terrible. And again, in those days, you had to be really, 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 really good to get noticed. You had to be, like I say, you had to have the tunes. This is why, mention them again. This is why Marillion and the likes of Its Bites, prevailed, because they had the tunes. They had a pop sensibility. They weren't prog, but they did. On the albums, they were, but at their heart, they were pop bands because they knew how to write a good tune that people would like. And that's not what prog is, if you know what I mean. So yeah, 12th Night, an oddity, a real oddity, and this is a real oddity. Like I say, released in 1986. How and why? But there it is, and that's 12th Night because it's 12th Night, and that's just a really awful. That's the worst. That is the worst thing I've ever done. This is the worst thing. No, what was worse was forcing myself to listen to it. That was what was bad. But not as bad as some of their earlier stuff. It's better than, in terms of, sounds a bit more professional and it's a bit tighter. But there was an awful lot of bad music out in the 80s. And this is some of it. So yeah, this was 12th Night with 12th Night, or XII, or XI 12th Night I, or No Title, or the Virgin album, or Charisma album, or whatever you want to call it. And you just wonder how the hell it got released, how and why. And if you're a big 12th Night fan or a member of 12th Night, I apologise if I've hurt your feelings. It's not personal. You have to put that disclaimer in there because people get all uppity and get all upset and will spam the thumbs down button. But there you go. And if you wanna have a go at me, music.darrenlock.com, go there. You can have a go at me. Yeah, you can listen to my crap and tell me how crap I am. Is that a fair deal? I think that's a fair deal. Thanks for watching. This is me trying to do music reviews. And I thought I'd be funny and do one on 12th Night, and it being 12th Night. It could have been worse. I could have actually reviewed one of their earlier ones, but I thought I'd just keep it to the stuff that was released on a label. I thought that'd be fair than stuff that was put out on 4-track, on the the cassette tape that they recorded on an 8-track or whatnot. So yeah, that was that. Thank you for watching. Not that any of you are. That was Prog Review. And there's even more of this. If you go on the streaming, there's loads. There's loads of even more tracks. There's even more tracks. Yeah, there you go. Expanded versions. They're expanded versions of their albums. And that's it. My name's Darren Lock. This was 12th Night's 12th Night. And there's only one more thing left to say, but I know you know what that is, and that is, prog on.